Do you remember a game called Sword Fights on the Heights 4? I know, to many of you that may have seemed like a stupid question. However, you've got to realize that the game's 10 years old now, and hasn't been in the spotlight for a very long time. I'm willing to bet that not a lot of new players have even heard of it, and those who have probably only know of the current version that's usually broken or hacked. Welcome to a show I like to call Nostalgia Blox. We're gonna take a seat and time travel all the way back to the year 2008, where we'll look at the original SFOF 4. No, it's not a very pleasant sounding acronym. This episode's in-game footage was recorded in Clone Trooper 1019's Super Nostalgia Zone. This guy is on a mission to revive the feeling of the classic Roblox engine and the games that came along with it. You should check it out, it's in the description of this episode, and it's the first link you'll see. I highly recommend it. Developed in the year 2008 by the once creative director of Roblox, John Shedletsky, this sword fighting game proved to be an instant classic and is what I consider an inspiring example of game design done right. In fact, being able to play it again in all of its glory is what really inspired me to write this episode. So starting off, the game had 7 uniquely coded swords, each with their own design and location throughout the map. That's right, new Robloxians, you weren't just handed these in a character creation room, or provided the option to start off with them if you bought a game pass. You actually had to fight to find them, and more often than not, you'd come across danger along the way. Now my favorite was always the Ghost Walker. It's a deadly blade where every time you kill a person, you'd find yourself turning more and more opaque until completely invisible and nearly able to fly. Kind of OP. But not really, I'll get to that later. It was located far off in the bottom of the map, only accessible through a narrow passage. In fact, because of how hard it was to get for a person who had very bad internet, like myself back in 2008, whenever I was a noob, I really remember being convinced that this was the best sword in the game. So, I would reset my character countless times until I spawned down there. You know, thinking about it now, it's no wonder I never got the Bloxer badge on my original account. And not only that, but usually another person spawned down there with me and killed me before I could even reach the sword. So, kind of a double lose if you think about it. Next up, we have Shedletsky's favorite weapon, the Illumina. I can really see why he liked it so much, because not only did it grant you the ability to lunge very quickly into an opponent before they could even react, but sometime during 2008 to 2012, an update occurred where if you were holding this sword, players around you who were invisible would sparkle, giving away their location. I say that with a hint of uncertainty in my voice because I legitimately cannot be certain if this should be in the 2008 version or not, but it's how I always remembered the weapons, so I don't know. I did try testing it out with a friend of mine, however, on Super Nostalgia Zone's version, it didn't work, so it could have been an oversight by Clone Trooper 1019, however, I think I'm just the one remembering it wrong. But for the sake of making this an easier video, we're gonna go with how I remember it, and that's with how the sword acted, making people who were invisible sparkle. It made the Illumina a perfect counter weapon to the Ghost Walker and players holding the Shadow Sphere, which that granted invisibility for a few seconds. It also made it hard for me whenever I stacked up on 10 of them in an effort to remain unseen for an unlimited amount of time. Yeah, come to think of it, I kind of like Clone Trooper's version more, so Clone Trooper, if you're watching, if it was an oversight, please don't fix it. Anyway, the theme of counteracting abilities carried on throughout all the weapons in the game. An interesting design choice because it made it so no one could be too overpowered and allowed for fair fights to occur. You see someone with an ice dagger who keeps freezing everyone in their path? Just grab a firebrand. It's the longsword that negates the effect. I'm a little ashamed to admit, but I didn't even know that this was an ability until 2013, but whatever, just use this information to kill the noobs who use the ice dagger. Learn from my mistakes. I could go through all the weapons and their abilities, but I don't really want to make this a guide. It's Nostalgia Blox. I have a lot of memories here. When I first created Firefox and rejoined Roblox after a long hiatus, this was one of the games I would pull all-nighters playing. And not only that, but I sort of did it like every night of the week. I didn't get very good grades in school, so please learn from me, and don't do that. After I got better at the game, I began streaking, and for those of you who don't know what that means in context to Roblox, I promise you I wasn't running around my neighborhood butt naked letting everyone see my floppy lizard. I was murdering countless people in an effort to get an insanely high kill count with 0 wipeouts. Now that I say it out loud, it doesn't sound like it's a much better definition. But because of that, I had an arch enemy who I'd challenge every night in an attempt to beat his streak. The guy was amazing at sword fighting, and I don't think I got one over on him too often. Many people might even know him, as he became quite famous for his skills. That guy's name is, appropriately I add, I Don't Lose, and I don't think I've ever had as much fun playing against someone in that game. I can't find the messages that we would send back and forth, but I think we became more friendly over time. I hope. I don't know. Last time I talked to him, he was going off to join the army, and I really hope he's doing well today, but who knows. As a side note, it's just kind of crazy how a person you barely interact with can leave such a lasting impression on you, you know? I don't know, just a little bit of weird existentialism I wanted to bring up. Also, if anyone knows I Don't Lose personally, let him know that I still think he's the best, and I wish him well as he travels through life. Overall, I really enjoyed this game, and being able to play it again is amazing. On a scale of do I think you should play it, I give the 2008 version a 9 out of 10. However, I can only give 2018's version a 0 out of 10. In my experience, the game is just too hacked or broken, and there's hardly anybody still on to play it, so there's really no point. It's not really through any fault of John Shedletsky, it's just a sad inevitability that comes with all games that can't be updated any longer. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. It means a lot to me seeing you guys talk in the comments below, and I love interacting with you guys on Twitter and on my channel. I know it's been a bumpy ride here on Firefox RBLX as I try to find myself and my style, and I just wanted to express some gratitude because you guys are still here watching the content after all the hiatuses, after all the things I've done, after all the experimenting I've done with the channel. I've been inactive, I've been a jerk, and I don't know. What I'm trying to say is I'm trying to be more consistent and offer a happier tone here because personally, I've grown to believe the world has too much negativity in it. Thanks again for watching. Have a lovely day.